I've had some questions lately on what does hashtag simple stamping mean and why is it so popular. Simple stamping is just that, basic simple stamping. You can stamp directly on your card base with your stamps, and here I just used one ink color. And this is a Whisper White card base that I cut myself. All these I cut myself. Here I used it on a Blushing Bride card base with 2 ink colors, and I added rhinestones. This card is also a simple stamping card. Although this image is what is called 2-step stamping. There's one stamp for the flowers and one stamp for all the green. So you only have to ink up each stamp with one color. And then these are perfectly clear photopolymer stamps, and so it's easy to position them next to the flowers. For this card, I used 2 markers to draw the background, 2 colored markers. I stamped and colored this, and then cut it out, and then cut out a little bit larger piece of cardstock to go underneath it. This card we are upgrading to punches. So I stamped on the background, and then I used 2 punches. I only used 1 ink color. This card uses what is called laser cut paper, a punch, and then this pair of scissors I stamped and hand cut out. When you cut something out by hand, the term is fussy cutting. I'm not sure where it came about, but that's what people call it. Anyway, those are some basic simple stamping cards. What supplies do you need? Well, the acronym is SIP, Stamps, Ink, and Paper. So here's stamps. This stamp set comes just as a stamp set. It is a cling mount stamp set with a sticky label that you attach yourself. I have a video on that. This is a photopolymer stamp set, and the stamps are clear. The black stuff is on the clear sheet that you attach it to. This stamp set also comes as part of a bundle with a punch. So when you add the retail price of the stamp set and the punch, if you buy it as a bundle, you will get 10% off that total price, which is a savings. You also need stamp blocks. Now in the catalog, this red N means it's new to this catalog. You'll see the item number. That's what you use to order. This is the price, and it says the suggested blocks. It also tells you if it's a cling or photopolymer stamp. This is a 2-step stamp like I talked about. And this tells you what it coordinates with. And this one coordinates with the Daisy Medium Punch. The most basic blocks are the B, the C, the D, and the G for those long, thin ones. I sometimes use this F1, this F block, when I want to stamp multiple stamps at the same time with the same color of ink. This is helpful when you're doing multiple cards that are the same. Anyway, there's also a little teeny A and a big E The big E will hold the background size stamps. So we covered the stamps, which is the S. The I is for ink. I would recommend you first get a Memento Black, Tuxedo Black ink pad. This lid pulls off like this. And here's the ink pad part. I also like to store these upside down so the ink stays at the top of the ink pad. Here are some Stampin' Up! Ink pads. You can choose, there are 50 colors, well, yeah, 50 colors to choose from. So, you just open them like that, put them like that. You can either pull this tray part or push this or both. Sometimes they're a little challenging when you first get them, but the more you use them, the easier they will be. And these stack. They don't snap together, but they stack nicely, and there's little feet to help them stay stacked. Anyway, you can choose a variety of colors. When I buy an ink pad, I always get the ink refill to go with it. That way, when the ink color starts getting light when I stamp, then I can re-ink it. I do have a video on re-inking that I'll leave the link to. The P stands for paper. You can use note cards that come with envelopes, and Stampin' Up! Generally has at least the Whisper White and Very Vanilla ones. And in this 2019-2020 catalog, they also have foil edged cards and envelopes with gold and silver foil on them, scalloped note cards and envelopes, and I think there's some others with the Memories and More kits. If you're cutting your own cardstock, there are 3x3 envelopes and medium envelopes, which are for the standard cut the cardstock in half at 5.5 by 8.5 and fold it at 4 1/4. Those use the medium envelopes. And those come in Very Vanilla, Whisper White, and Clear. When buying your own cardstocks, as opposed to using the note cards, Stampin' Up! Has color collections. The neutrals are basically their darker and more neutral colors. The brights are, of course, bright colors. Subtles are your more pastel colors. Except for Calypso Coral. I don't consider it a pastel color, but that's okay. It works well with those colors anyway. And the Regals are the deeper colors, but not as deep as the neutrals. There are also In Colors, which are 5 trendy colors that we keep for 2 years. Here's where you buy the ink pad, the cardstock, which is a single color pack, and the classic ink pad, and the classic ink refill. So, and like I said, I usually get the refill when I get the ink pad. You can also buy for each of these color collections an assorted cardstock package, which has 2 sheets of each of the 10 colors. So you get 20 sheets of cardstock with 2 sheets of each color. That's just to see them in real life and test out which ones you like the best. When you've used up your 2 sheets of one color, then you can order the single pack of cardstock. The trendy In Colors, of course, only come with 5 sheets. 5 colors, but there are 4 sheets of each color in the assorted cardstock pack. And each one of these is considered a different one, so you can order those separately. I'll show you what the regular cardstock packages look like. They come like this. Here's an almost empty Whisper White cardstock package. You get more. You get 40 sheets of Whisper White cardstock. And here's what the regular cardstock package looks like. Here are the new in colors. No, I guess that one was upside down. Anyway, I usually just cut a slit at the top and keep them in their packages. That way I'm sure of what color they are. Because after you get staring at colors for a while, sometimes it's hard to tell. There are also designer series papers, which are just pattern papers. Almost all of Stampin' Up's colored papers are double-sided. If they're not double-sided, it will be called a specialty paper, and it will let you know in the description. Well, I guess I'll put that back later. Anyway, with these, I also cut a slit at the top. Back here, it will let you know which colors it coordinates with. And also in the description, it will let you know what colors it coordinates with, so you can get cardstock to match. Again, like with the stamps, there's the item number, which you used to order with, and the price. And as you can see, there are quite a few. Here are some that are listed as specialty, and it will tell in the description why it's a specialty color. It's a little bit more. And there are foil sheets, which are shiny and metallic-y and beautiful. There are also some other papers over here next to the envelopes. Shimmery white is a good color, a good cardstock if you want to use water on your project. And there's also watercolor paper. There are some thick cardstocks, which I like to use for card bases. They come in Whisper White and Very Vanilla. And a couple of the Whisper White and Very Vanilla cardstock, a couple of cardstock vellums, which are, as you can see here, kind of clear. And here's another laser cut paper. And window sheets, which are perfectly clear. Some foil sheets, some glimmer paper, which has glittery stuff on it that generally stays on. If you're using regular cardstock, you'll want to cut it. Stampin' Up! No longer carries this paper trimmer, but you can get a paper trimmer at any craft store. I like it when there are grid marks. 1/4-inch grid marks are my favorite because it's just easier to tell that your paper is straight. This one has a scoring blade, which means it will make the fold lines for you, and a cutting blade. So those are the basic things you need for simple stamping. If you are using layers, you will want an adhesive. I recommend Tombow glue or Snail, which is a double-sided adhesive on a tape runner, and Stampin' Dimensionals. These are the mini ones. There are also ones that are about double the size, but they're hexagon shaped. And they're little foam things that raise up the cardstock a little bit and give it some dimension. These are easy to cut with your scissors. Anyway, so those are the basic stamping supplies. So have fun with your simple stamping. Check my blog next week for a simple stamping card.